Rob Senderoff, Kent State head coach. And Rob, we're just going to get right into it, man. The way that last season ended was about as heartbreaking of a loss as I think anyone can take. Um, how do you bounce back from that? How do you get your team to bounce back for that? How do you react to that? Like how do you flip something like that into motivation for the next year
Hey,
when you got
first
a
of
team with
all, he had a full head of hair before that game.
Right. Yeah. Listen, I didn't have a full head of hair before that game, but what little I had, I guess, may be gone after that. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's certainly a tough game and something that it'll live with me personally forever. But at some point you got to move on and move forward to the next season. With the way things work in college basketball, we had to move on pretty quickly in terms of retooling our roster and recruiting and getting our next team ready. But certainly with the guys that return, and we have a lot of them that chose to return, that's a motivating factor leading into this season. We have been in the conference championship game 3 straight years, and it's only happened 5 times in league history. And we've happened to win a lot of close games over the last, I've been here 14. This is my 14th year. We've won a lot of close games over the last 13 years. This one we didn't, and we lost in a heartbreaking fashion. So the guys that are returning, I know all of them, and the guys that are new are hoping and working towards getting back to that title game again here in March. And if we can get there, then we feel like, hey, we're going to be able to finish the deal.
You bring back 2 of your best players, arguably your 2 best players in Sullinger and Davis. Not a lot of mid-major teams can say that these days, right? Most of those guys are, frankly, they go elsewhere because they get more money right now for NIL. How surprised were you that you got both back, number one? And what have you challenged each of them in the offseason to take their game to the next level?
Yeah, well, Vaughn, was back right away, along with Claron Hornbeek, which were 2 starters. And we had a kid sit out the second half of the semester, Morgan Safford, who came from Miami of Ohio, who is an all-conference level player in this league. So with those 3 guys back, we felt like we had a really good foundation along with some of the younger guys. Jalen just came back in August. He actually not only went into the transfer portal, but, signed and went to summer school down at Furman. And, for a variety of reasons, decided that he wanted to come back to Kent. And, me and him had a couple conversations. So now he's back with us this year. So I did not expect him to be back here. And the way we planned this offseason with who we brought in, that was not part of the equation. But, to have a lot of guys back, to have a core of returners back is great. The kids that we brought in, freshmen and transfers, are all really, really hungry, tough, hard-nosed kids that have bought into, what we're trying to do here as a program and how we play. And it's actually been a ton of fun. This has been about as much fun as I've had, and we haven't played a game yet, so it's easy to have fun until you play games. But even with that, about as much fun as I've had here in a long time, getting ourselves ready, because it's great to be in the gym with these guys, and we have a commonality of how we prepare and how we're working every day that brings a lot of enjoyment from a coach's standpoint.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned Morgan Safford there. He was the one that I circled when looking at your rosters here, because you mentioned he's an all-conference guy. He averaged 15 points a game in 22-23 in the MAC. So he understands what it takes to win in this league. He understands what it takes to compete in this league. And you're kind of getting a plug-and-play 23-year-old fifth-year grad transfer there. You got to be excited about him. What have you seen from him in the offseason, and how important was it to kind of get that, is an extra 6 months maybe when he comes in during the semester to kind of get him acclimated?
I think that makes a huge difference. The fact that he was here, so he enrolled in December of last year, practiced every day in the spring. So to me, while he is a 1-year player, when you have that extra 6 months and entire practice and going through games and seeing everything and how things are done here, he to me is not a newcomer. He's been here a while, and I know it's not 5 years like Vaughn, but he's been here enough to know how we do things, how things operate, the expectation of what what the coaches want and what the program sort of requires. And he's a very, very good player. He's one of the better players in the conference for sure. He's already shown that. Now, he's had a little bit of a layoff because he didn't play this past year. But I know he's really hungry to go out there this senior year for him and show what he can do.
All right. So in my next lifetime, I want to be Rob Senderoff because
no, you don't.
In the off season, I mean, who's got a better life than Coach Sendy, right? Like, you're going to a Pearl Jam concert one day, you're going to the Kentucky Derby another day. But I want to go back to like you going out on a summer vacation in Wyoming here. And we got a picture of this that we can show.
Oh, do you?
Look at this. Look at this guy fly fishing, riding horses in Wyoming. Like, what is – come on, you did not stay on that horse.
You know what? I don't know who got you that photo, but whoever did, I need to find that one out. I got a couple guys that I think I know who it could be. I went on vacation with my family to Yellowstone. Unbelievable. Probably one of the best things, if not the best thing I've ever done. And seeing the bison was my favorite part. You drive down a road and there's literally hundreds and hundreds of bison on the side of the street walking right in front of you. Of course, that's not the photo that gets sent to you of me watching the bison. The photo gets sent to you of me riding a horse. It was really, really cool for me and my family. It was a lot of fun. You know what? We all of us as coaches, and you guys who are in the media covering this is a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week job. It used to be that there was some off season. Now you have these 2 14-day windows where it's like, blackout windows. Now you guys still probably have to cover everything during that time. I was away in Wyoming for 8 of those 14 days in August and had a blast. We stayed at a place where I had to make my own fire at night to keep.
How did that go?
That did not go well at all. These are things that I have no experience at whatsoever, and that was a one and done, like a one and done. I will not do it again, but I would go back to see those bison. That was about as cool a thing as I've ever done in my life. Like I said, I'm glad you got that photo to embarrass me. Well done, Jeff. Well done.
Pearl Jam. Are they number one on your list of bands that you would go see? Are they number one? Who ranks above them, if anybody?
No, nobody ranks above them. Nobody. You say coming on the field of 68 is like a religious experience. Going to see them at Madison Square Garden and is like a religious experience. And those who have gone to shows can attest to that. That's about as awesome and as fun an environment. You got 20,000 people all standing, screaming. My players know I really enjoy them too. I do not make them. The aux is never my music. It's always their music. But at some point maybe I'll play a couple tunes for those guys. But it's a lot of fun. That's one of the things I like to do when possible. So in the off season, this September actually, I went recruiting in Massachusetts and saw them play in Fenway the night before I went to see a kid as well.
All right. So here's the last question I got for you, Rob. What was the more difficult thing for you to do? Go from having the 41st ranked defense to the 193rd ranked defense in college basketball last season, or trying to figure out what Eddie Vedder is actually saying in any of those Pearl Jam songs the first time you hear it.
Yeah. Well, that was going back to the basketball thing. That last year I would call a defensive anomaly. I hope it was a defensive anomaly for us. One of the things we've hung our hat on here for a long time is how we defend and how we compete on that side of the floor. There was a variety of reasons why we weren't as good defensively as we had been the prior few years. I think we were first or second in the league for each of the 3 prior seasons. You had Vaughn on before, so he's now been here 4 years. His first 3, I think we were first or second in the league in defense. This past year, we were one of the bottom teams. So we've really worked to try to fix that in terms of some of it being personnel dictated, but some of it also being coach dictated, and how demanding we are for what our standard is, and making sure we live up to that. So to put that on the players is not fair at all and not accurate. So we've tried to do a better job here in the off season. We spent September in particular really working on our terminology, what we do, why we do it, how we do it. And now here, starting in practice, just about every day has been a defensive first, in terms of where we're focusing our energy, defense first, in terms of our focus and commitment in terms of energy wise on that side of the ball. And hopefully, you'll see us get back to what we think we're supposed to be and what we pride ourselves on that end of the floor. So we obviously have a challenging non-conference schedule, but the hope is that by the time we get to league play, we'll have what we need in place to be successful in the conference, and it's going to be a very good conference.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Rob, listen, we appreciate the time. Thank you for being here. I better get an invite next time you head out to Yellowstone. I love Yellowstone. I was there last summer. We went fishing down there. Goodman's going to get this. Are you trying to play music over there? Goodman? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's good. I like the music. Appreciate it.
There you go.
More from Mac Media Day coming up next.
Got a little Pearl Jam there.
I love it, man. Thank you.
Welcome back to Mac Media Day here on the Field of 68, and we are now joined by Kent State guard Vaughn Cameron Davis, fresh off of a 13.8 points per game season as a senior. You are now what we call a super senior. Do you feel like a super senior, Vaughn Cameron?
Super senior. I'm definitely one of the oldest guys on my team. Yeah, super senior.
Hey, go back to last year. In the title game, the loss to Akron, and just how hard it was, right? And how long it took you, if you've even been able to get over it, how often you watched it, maybe you didn't, but just give me kind of the taste in your mouth, how difficult it was.
It was definitely a very, 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 very hard pill to swallow. I've been in the MAC championship for 4 out of my 5 years. 3 out of my 4 or 5 years so far at Kent. So I'm definitely considered a winner. And that was definitely one of the hardest pills to swallow just in my college career, losing how we did and losing at that high of a level in the championship. But it's definitely set high, very high, just standards for this year and what we want to accomplish this year, and definitely what we're working towards this year. And that's ultimately to get back to the MAC championship and get to the NCAA tournament.
In this day and age in college basketball, if you have a guy that has graduated, has a chance to be a grad transfer, can transfer and be eligible immediately, can enter the portal, can cash in on NIL, generally speaking, those players tend to leave. You didn't leave. In fact, you are heading into your 5th season at Kent State, which is kind of a minor miracle. Like, this doesn't really happen. You entered the portal. You decided to come back to school. Like, you are, to me, one of the rare things and one of the special things in college basketball this year. Why are you back at Kent State?
I'm back at Kent State not only because of my coach, my head coach, Coach Cindy, but also the whole staff, the players that ultimately came back and are new guys, and ultimately just the tradition and just the family atmosphere Kent State brings. And I guess I'm just a flash for life, and I love that. I love that for myself. So
I love that, man. I love that. Loyalty is a lost art in college basketball.
All right, so I got a couple things for you here, Von Cameron. First of all, take me back to your first game there. And by the way, listen, you're the only Mr. Basketball ever to play at Kent State, for those who don't know that. But your first game there, Senderoff puts you in the game, and I believe you were yanked. I don't know how many seconds into when you went in the game. It was like, I don't know, 20, 25 seconds, and then you didn't play again. What are you thinking at that moment?
A lot of things going through my head. Am I good enough to play in college? Am I not playing hard enough for my coach? Like, what am I not doing? But just after repeated reps, going to practice every day, because my situation, I was a COVID kid, so I didn't get a summer of my freshman year. I didn't get a summer. I didn't get the workouts. We jumped right into practice, fives. We just going. And Kent State is a very different team to play for. We play hard, we play physical, we play with force. So me just having to adapt to that took me a little longer, I think, just in my journey here. So I was definitely feeling that type of way, but I know if you just keep your head, my assistant at the time, Coach Jules Sellinger, he just told me to keep my head down and just keep grinding, and your time would definitely come.
I'd love to know what you were muttering under your breath at Coach Senderoff at that moment when he pulled you 20 seconds into it. I'm not going to ask you because I don't want to get you in trouble here, but I could only imagine what it was as a freshman at that point. All right, I got a couple more quick things for you here. You are a unicorn in the sense that you are the only player that I've ever heard of that sprained his ankle in a conditioning run, tripping on a cone. Is that true?
That is true.
What happened? What do you mean? You fell over the cone and you were out for like how long? What happened here? Come on, man.
I was out for probably like a week and a half, maybe almost 2 weeks. But I definitely went out when me and Coach Cindy, we have this little deal. I got to get taped every time I do anything. I do have a bad ankle, so got to make sure I'm stay taped, right. Conditioning, live play, whatever. Just got to make sure I stay taped.
That actually makes a lot of sense. The old guy on the roster sprains his ankle on a cone. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of the boxes are getting checked there.
All right, let me finish with this kind of 3-pack with a good one. All right, so you're nicknamed I-95. I love the reason why. Explain it to people.
I-95, my coach told me, Coach Jim Christian, one of our assistants from last year, made it up. Just how I guess I was being really efficient in the tournament, our last 3 games, and probably closer to the end of the season, I was being very, very efficient. I was getting my guys involved. I was kind of getting the offense generated, passing, scoring, rebounding also. So just my coach said, just throw it into Von. You feel me? I-95, he's going to get the job done. I'm going to get the job done for my teammates. And that's it for real.
Yeah, I think it was basically because I-95, it goes straight and there's no detours. Yeah. And Senderoff said when we played through Von Cameron, it's a straight path to winning games. That's a pretty good compliment.
For sure.
All right, last thing I got for you, Von Cameron. In 2023, you guys make the tournament. You finish as a top 40 team in America defensively on KenPom. Last season, you guys finished 193rd, and it was the first time in, I want to say, 9 years that you finished below 500 in MAC play. So, are you sick of hearing Coach Senderoff talk about defense yet? Like, how much is he preaching this in preseason practices?
He definitely preaches a lot, and that's definitely our motto. And I agree with me being here as long as I've been, just seeing defense wins basketball games, definitely. So we got to make sure we listen to Coach Sidney. We got to make sure we're doing everything we need to be doing. And I think our additions this year and a lot of our players coming back is definitely hungry, and definitely I think we're ready for this year and getting ready.
All right. Well, listen, Mike Hammer, we appreciate you being here. Best of luck the rest of the season. And I'll tell you this, I hope the I-95, it's a little bit more closer to what Goodman is in Boston than it is down here by me in Jersey, because there's nothing but traffic jams down here. All right. Best of luck this season, my man.